Come, let us practice Tantric chanting to help us meditate like a Jedi. Let us practice bliss and letting go in such a manner that it feels as if the Force itself is giving us a kiss upon the top of our head. To do that, we require neither faith nor visualization. All we need to do is simply chant the following 6 syllables. Lama come to pay crown. 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 Let's practice the first awareness and letting go, that is meditating like a Jedi. The 7th and 8th folds of the Buddha's Eightfold Path. Each time we feel air enter our nostrils, let us silently and mentally recite the verb watch. Every time we feel air exit our nostrils, let us silently and mentally recite the verb rest. No, Virginia, our job is not to actively concentrate or actively contemplate. Doing so will exhaust the dorsolateral and medial prefrontal cortex, causing our amygdala causing us to trigger our amygdala, the seat of both anxiety and aggression. Instead, by watching in harmony with our inhalation, we'll be accessing the middle bit of our spinal cord, known as the sympathetic nervous system, which has evolved to help us to watch vulnerably, passively, viscerally, randomly, and fleetingly. And let's see here, by mentally reciting the verb rest during each exhalation, we'll be accessing the very most bottom bit and the very most top bit of that same spinal cord, the parasympathetic nervous system, to help us to physically relax and mentally release to such a degree that which we noticed during our previous inhalation could fleetingly feel less stressful, less permanent, less defining. Additionally, it will calm our amygdala and gently stimulate our anterior cingulate gyrus, which functions as the hub of our mirror neurons, the seat of empathy. In conclusion, together as a team, let us sit and breathe and watch and rest. Good morning, Nate. So, if you're going to use this ease, I would remove the verb because that turns it into an affirmation, and that gets us into rigidity, which makes us cranky and anxious. Far better it is to just focus on the verbs, watch and rest. You might find it beneficial to rest the great knuckle at the base of your right index finger upon the tip of your left index finger, palms up in your lap. Our job is not to calm our mind. Our job is to be vulnerable to whatever breakdancing our mind is doing. Our mind could be perceiving, emoting, intending, reasoning, recalling, or imagining. We could be experiencing the outer, the inner, the physical, the mental, the pleasurable, the painful, the interesting, the boring, the glorious, or the grotesque. It's not our job to pick and choose, to chase or flee, to reach or shove. It's our job to just watch and rest. We're practicing remedial non-duality, which is basically using the same antidote for all that we experience. Ironically, simply being vulnerable to the present moment and then relaxing multiplies our resilience and our peace. The enlightened peace comes not from repressing, but from watching and resting. Let us switch gears for a moment. This is Luke Skywalker Friday morning. Let us meditate like Jedi after about 30 seconds of housekeeping. This is Lama Jigme Gyatso of the Buddha Joy Meditation School. For more than 30 years, I've harnessed my autistic special interests as well as my ADHD hyperfocus to spend about 8 hours a day, almost every day, studying, practicing, mastering, and reverse engineering the teachings and techniques of each school of meditation so that I can become your personal, nerdy, neurodivergent guide to nirvana. Welcome, my friends, to meditate like a Jedi, which is made possible due to the generosity of viewers just like you. Let us practice the holocron of impermanence and interdependence, the first fold of the Buddha's Eightfold Path. Nate, my friend, you are utterly welcome. We'll begin with a quick chant of exposition. If you wish to chant with me, you're welcome to join me on the Tube app. Rather than indulge or controlling tendencies with all hobbies of active visualization, emotion, magic, and belief, we could just recite these wise words in harmony with our breathing and allow our subconscious to do the heavy lifting. Let us therefore sidestep the rigidity that confuses metaphors from statements literal, and instead relax into the flexibility that savors the chance explaining metaphors as similes. So what we're going to do is bring the 4 bases of mindfulness, the mental, the interpersonal, the physical, and the circumstantial, into the path of the wisdom of letting go. As we do that, we're going to recall that there is no need to be positive. We can be honest with our perceptions. As we look around at our circumstances, we see the results of unnecessary cruelty. We see climate change. We see genocide. We see jingoism. We see fascism. We see sexism. We see racism. We see homophobia. We see classism. We see ableism all around in living colors. So, armed with that vulnerable perception, let us bring that mess into the path of the wisdom of letting go. Also, by the way, you're welcome to join me on the Tube app so you can chant with me. All circumstances are lots appearing, yet void could be as impermanent and interdependent, as if they could blissfully melt into rainbow light that could telepathically absorb into this body or form. Let us divide the silent and mental recitation of the 6-syllable synopsis between our inhalation and our exhalation. All lots melt into form. And yes, ironically, we are exploiting our own propensity towards being self-centered. When I was a little boy and I would vetch about my disabilities, my mother would scold me and saying the world does not revolve around you. Oh, these contemplations assume it does. We turn our attention now to the physical, how beings are often endure treatable medical challenges because those in power prefer profit over people. Let us look at that mess. Let us be vulnerable to that mess and then together chant. Let us also consider just the general sufferings endured by illness and health disorders and disabilities and the like. All bodies or forms sensual yet void could be as impermanent and interdependent, as if they could blissfully melt into rainbow light that could delightfully absorb into this communication or speech. And so we're just using the metaphors of melting and absorbing to illustrate change and interdependence. Let us divide the silent and mental recitation of this 6-syllable synopsis between our inhalations and our exhalations. All forms melt into speech. Let us bring our experience. Let us bring our experience of the interpersonal into the path of the wisdom of letting go. People don't always treat each other kindly. They can be fearful. They can be ignorant. They can be cruel. But this is not what we evolved to do. We evolved to cooperate. We evolved to be kind. So this knee-jerk reaction towards cruelty and fear is aberrant. It is a maladaptation to the tyranny of competition that calls itself capitalism. Feudalism seemed permanent until it wasn't. Capitalism feels permanent until it isn't. All interpersonal communication, all speech resounding in what could be as impermanent and interdependent, as if it could blissfully melt into rainbow light that could delightfully absorb into this mind. Let us divide the silent and mental recitation of the 6-syllable synopsis between our inhalation and our exhalation. This speech melts into mind. My nose is kind of musical right now. It's very sad. Elitist teachers kept this practice secret for many, many centuries, only for a special few. And They were so rigid that they perceived it literally trying to become, a technicolor ghost, as opposed to figuratively treating it simply as metaphors to help us viscerally bring whatever we experience into the path of awareness and release. And so there's this myth that if you're truly spiritual, when you die, you'll attain the rainbow body and only leave hair and teeth and fingernails in your deathbed, and everything else will turn into a rainbow. Ain't that cute? But it's wrong. It's a type of literalism that feeds elitism. They're special, we're not. Buddha taught egalitarianism, that we can all master his path in as little as a week. Let's chant. But first, let us now prepare to bring our experience of the mental into the path of the wisdom of letting go. Let us bring not only our perceptions, but our emotions, the pleasurable ones, the painful ones, our intentions, our thoughts, our memories, our imaginings. Some of our memories are really painful. We can bring those with us into the path of the wisdom of letting go. In this extra long chant, we're going to explore the actual definition of emptiness, the actual definition of voidness, which might make meditation make more sense to you. All lucid perceiving, emoting, intending, thinking, recalling, and imagining minds. Lucid yet void could be as impermanent and interdependent, as if they could blissfully melt into rainbow light that could laughingly absorb into our vast empty void. Like the illusion of the infinite azure sky on a bright and beautiful cloudless morn, which, although could look tantalizing to the eye, could feel non-graspable to the hand. So emptiness is simply a metaphor of the fleeting experience of non-graspability latent within each exhalation. Let us divide the silent and mental recitation of this 6-syllable synopsis between our inhalation and our exhalation. All minds melt into form. No, our job is not to visualize, our job is not to believe. We're just playing with these words, silently and mentally, in harmony with our breath. Let's practice the second set of awareness and letting go, that is, meditating like a Jedi. As we silently and mentally recite the verb watch during our inhalation, we are wired to vulnerably, passively, viscerally, randomly, and fleetingly watch mind's antics of perception, emotion, intention, cognition, recollection, and imagination, be they external or internal, physical or mental, pleasurable or painful, interesting or boring, glorious or grotesque. As we do this, as we silently and mentally recite the verb rest during our exhalation, all that we noticed or watched during our previous inhalation could fleetingly feel less stressful, less permanent, and even less defining. So the world won't go away, but it will control us far, far less. So together, let us sit and breathe and watch and rest. No, we do not watch and rest to become indifferent to the suffering of others. We watch and rest to break the spell of universal suffering, that our choices and utterances and our deeds might flow from the centered spontaneity described as the effortless effort of the sixth fold of the Buddha's Eightfold Path, so that we can act for the greater good in the most sustainable way. As we breathe in, we can notice all sorts of things, even aversion to meditation. Mindfulness meditation, when done properly, are not contrivances that we have to strain to practice. We're simply cooperating with the natural processes of our central nervous system. That's why we often see cats sometimes sitting and breathing and just grooving at the present moment. You know, when they're not having zoomies and picking fights with intangible, inanimate objects. Let us practice bliss and letting go in such a manner that it can feel like the force itself is giving us a hug. We do this not through blind faith, nor through nor contrived visualization, but by chanting the following 6 syllables, Lama blend with this mind. 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 Let's practice the third set of awareness and letting go. That is meditating like a Jedi. The 7th and 8th folds of the Buddha's Eightfold Path. As we feel our chest swell with air, silently and mentally we could recite the verb watch. As we feel our chest subtly sink with each exhalation, silently and mentally we could recite the verb rest. Additionally, we might find it helpful to rest the great knuckle at the base of our right middle finger upon the tip of our left middle finger, palms up in our lap. Some people would say energy work is purely a construct of Tantric Buddhism, but remember that the third enlightenment factor pertains directly to energy. Now you might say, dude, how do I know that's true? That very question, is it true, is it false, means we're stuck in duality, in rigidity, and in craving certitude, when life contains no certitudes. Life's messy, it's always changing. The real question is not, is this teaching true or false? The question is, when I play with this teaching, does it help my practice? Does it help me to watch and rest and love and go with the flow in the most sustainable way? I have sampled many so-called religious organizations who prided themselves in being rigid, fearful, superstitious, controlling, elitist, cryptic, competitive, and cruel. And for these people, if something was unfamiliar, it was wrong. And if something was different, it was wrong. These people were all about coercing folks and preying upon their insecurities to bend them to their will, which doesn't seem very loving or gentle to me, but maybe I'm just naive. Right back at you, Nate. Let us practice the holocron of love and letting go. The second through fifth folds of the Buddha's Eightfold Path. We'll begin by chanting an explanation of this 10-syllable mantra. Keep in mind that we're treating the green Tata as merely an archetype for, like her, our minds, while our circumstances are appearing yet not graspable. Our experience of the physical is sensual yet not graspable. Our experience of the interpersonal is resounding yet not graspable. And our experience of the mental is lucid yet not graspable. So we're trying not to be spooky here. We're just using figures of speech because that's what we have evolved to do. We've evolved to think symbolically. First, we only perceived, going back millions and millions of years. And then eventually we began recalling past perceptions and anticipating future perceptions. And lo and behold, that gave rise to the armature of mind. O Mama Shatare, the swift and courageous with Tutare, you drive away all fears. Heroine with Ture, fulfilling all things with so may all be as beneficial as you. Let us bring the mental into the path of love. May all minds of all beings know me as joyfully enlightened as the mind of a real or imagined Buddha, symbolized by a bija, one syllable seed mantra tamoti clay drop. Let us divide the silent and mental recitation of this 6-syllable synopsis between our inhalation and our exhalation. Bija wise for all minds. As we look at the jingoists and the fascists and the classists and the sexists and the racists and the homophobes and the ableists, there's a lot of stinking thinking. It would be nice if everyone could see clearly that all beings are our siblings. As we breathe in, the easiest way for us to practice love and letting go is thus. As we breathe in, silently and mentally, we could recite the loving wish, bija wise for all minds. As we exhale, we can do two things. We can physically relax as best we can, while simultaneously striving to chant the 10-syllable mantra 4 times per breath for a total of 4 breaths. Oh, look, there's a message. Let's see what's going on here. I don't see a message. Well, I apologize for my technical ineptitude. Let's continue. Om tare du da de du de soa. 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 Om tare du da de du de suwa, Om Tare Du Dare Dure 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 suwa. Let us bring our experience of the interpersonal into the path of love and letting go. Nate, my friend, I am delighted that you've parked and you're driving and you're not you're not relaxing your way into someone else's lane. I'm delighted to hear that. Let's continue. May all relationships, communication, or speech of all beings know be as peacefully loving as a real or imagined Buddha speech or communication symbolized by this horizontal 10-syllable mantra. Let us divine the silent and mental recitation of the 6-syllable synopsis between our inhalation and our exhalation. Mantra love for all speech. To practice the union of love and letting go during our inhalation, silently and mentally we could recite mantra love for all speech. During our exhalation, we can physically relax as best we can while simultaneously chanting the 10-syllable mantra 4 times per breath for a total of 4 breaths. And yes, if this is your first rodeo, please give yourself permission to have a learning curve. Om Tare Du Dare Dure Suwa, 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 Om Tare Du Dare Dure Suwa. Om Tare Du Dare Dure Suwa, 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 Om Tare Du Dare Dure Suwa. Let us bring our experience of the physical into the path of love. May all bodies or forms of all beings now enjoy the beautiful health depicted in Buddha statuary of the blissful body of a Devi or Yadam, an archetype of enlightenment such as green Tara. Let us divine the silent and mental recitation of the 6-syllable synopsis between our inhalation and our exhalation. Yidam health for all forms. As we inhale, may we silently and mentally recite the 6-syllable wish, Yidam health for all forms. As we exhale, let us physically relax as best we can while striving to chant the 10-syllable mantra 4 times per breath for a total of 4 breaths. Om Tare Nare Nure Sawa, Om Tare Nare Nure Sawa, Om Tare Nare Nure Sawa, Om Tare Nare Nure Sawa. Om Tare Nare Nure Sawa, Om Tare Nare Nure Sawa, Om Tare Nare Nure Sawa, Om Tare Nare Nure Sawa. It might be easier for you to chant with us if you join me on the Tube app. Om Tare Nare Nure Sawa, Om Tare Nare Nure Sawa, Om Tare Nare Nure Sawa, Om Tare Nare Nure Sawa. Om Tare Nare Nure Sawa, Om Tare Nare Nure Sawa, Om Tare Nare Nure Sawa, Om Tare Nare Nure Sawa. Let us bring the circumstantial into the path of love. May all circumstances, all lots of all beings know have the safety, good fortune, or boon. Oh, so you're on the Tube app right now, Nate. That's just nickname. So the Tube app is what how we refer to the app that you're on right now. When I'm on other apps, so the algorithm doesn't punish me. May all circumstances, all lots of all beings know have the safety, good fortune, or boon. As a Buddha is real or imagined, paradise, pure land, or vaunty. Let us divide the 6-syllable recitation of the Let's try this again. Let's divide the silent and mental recitation of the 6-syllable synopsis between our inhalations and our exhalations. Vati boon for all lots. As we breathe in, let us silently and mentally recite Vati boon for all lots. As we exhale, let us physically relax as best we can, whilst striving to chant the 10-syllable mantra 4 times per breath for a total of 4 breaths. Om Tare Nare Nure Sawa, Om Tare Nare Nure Sawa, Om Tare Nare Nure Sawa, Om Tare Nare Nure Sawa. Om Tare Nare Nure Sawa, Om Tare Nare Nure Sawa, Om Tare Nare Nure Sawa, Om Tare Nare Nure Sawa. Om Tare Nare Nure Sawa, Om Tare Nare Nure Sawa, Om Tare Nare Nure Sawa, Om Tare Nare Nure Sawa. Om Tare Nare Nure Sawa, Om Tare Nare Nure Sawa, Om Tare Nare Nure Sawa, Om Tare Nare Nure Sawa. Let's practice the 4th set. of awareness and letting go. That is meditating like a Jedi. As we silently and mentally recite the verb watch during each inhalation, we can vulnerably, passively, viscerally, randomly, fleetingly watch all manner of phenomena, from the external to the internal, from the physical to mental, from the pleasurable to the painful, from the interesting to the boring, from the glorious to the grotesque. As we silently and mentally recite the verb rest during our exhalation, that which we watched during our previous inhalation could fleetingly feel as non-graspable, as a vast empty void, like the illusion of the infinite azure sky and a bright and beautiful cloudless moon, which although could look tantalizing to the eye, feels non-graspable to the hand. This is this session's final practice of awareness and letting go. Let us therefore really make it count as we sit and breathe and watch and rest. Whoops, wrong button. Let me see if I can fix that. There. In all compassion may we long to free all beings from the toxic tyranny of heaven. Hating, craving, and clinging, metaphorically known as the three mental poisons. In our pragmatism, may all liberation of all others be fueled by the three wish-fulfilling jewels of... Following the Buddha's example, applying his instructions and cooperating with his students. Nate, my friend, you are utterly welcome to you. I send a psychic hug. My friends, we have sat for the better part of an hour. It could be quite refreshing to conversationally recite the 8-syllable synopsis, may we free all through the 3 jewels, while performing what I like to describe as spooky squat thrusts that, when practiced correctly, stimulate the muscles that really help us to sit in a sustainable way. Oh boy, here we go. Let's see. Oh. Okay, let's set our heels at shoulder width and pivot our feet into overhead. Feet upon our heels, half squat. May we. Full squat. Free all. Weight on the balls of our feet. Through. The 3 jewels. May we free all through the Three jewels. Third and final repetition. May we free all through the jewels. Let's sit down. left hand, right shin, right hand, left shin, right. All right. Let us conclude with the final chant, wishing for the preservation of the Buddha's teachings. May each meditation teacher truly understand the Buddha's teachings and practice master as well as teach him generously, lovingly, and wisely in the manner of centered spontaneity. May each meditation teacher spontaneously receive. Generous patrons, enthusiastic students, as well as devoted apprentices. And thus may many Dharma centers be successfully planted, nurtured, and flourish. You have taken your first step into a much larger world. If you feel that I have earned it, you could give this live stream a thumbs up. You could even help support this channel. In approximately, let's see here. In approximately 2 3/4 hours, I would very much like to return to lead today's mid-morning meditation class and group practice. And if you are as geeky as me, may the Force be with you always.